I'm gonna grab another fan brush. I have several fan brushes going so I don't have to clean them. And go right back into this dark color. Add a little more of the green and the brown and the blue. Good dark color crimson.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of A Tribute to Mastery. I'm going ahead and I'm prepping our canvas for today. We're just about ready to get right into it. We have, of course, our colors are the usual suspects with blue, red, green, yellow, brown, and white, as well as some water or paint thinner. I just use water. Our first step, now that we've gotten into it, is we're going to go in here with our blue, this our dark blue that we use most of the time, and we're just going in here, and we're only using the paint that we have already on our brush and our canvas. We don't need to get a bunch more because we can easily just go in and get some more using this and our sky. Just like usual, we do the sky first. There is somewhat of an order of operations with these types of paintings. This almost looks like a denim to me. Looks like those really light colored denim jeans that women usually wear. Or at least they did. Or at least my mom does sometimes. At least from what I remember. It's been a hot minute. And now we want to go in with just a little bit of red. We can just go in here and add in some red streaks. And it makes this whole thing feel warmer. That's the point of it. I'm already liking the vibe of this painting a lot. It's a very nice reddish purplish color that we've got going on now. You know, you don't usually see colors like this unless it's like early morning. Maybe it is. Well, fun fact, when I'm painting this, it actually is early morning. So maybe that's a sign that, or something like that. I don't know. Now we're gonna wanna go back into our blue, mix it with a bit of our red again, make this nice purplish color. And then we go in here and just pull in where we're gonna have some water eventually. Yeah, the easiest way to lighten this, to make this flow easier, is to mix in some actual water into it. And all of a sudden, we've got our water flowing way nicer. And now we're just going across the whole thing and flattening anything that may have been left out. I kind of wish you were here with me right now. Bringing the brush across makes these beautiful swishy noises. Very pleasing. I wonder if you can hear them. This is about the point where you want to go ahead and wash out your brush. And then we can go in with our palette knife, which is something that I have. It's a very useful tool, especially if you know how to use it. We'll go in, we'll get some brown. We'll mix it with a bit of blue, just a bit. Mix it together, make it gray, makes this grayish color. More blue in there. Makes this nice grayish color, kind of like that. Then we can go about here and just use it to bring in some shapes for what's going to become a mountain. So we want very, very nice dark color. We want this to be super dark. And of course it's going to be very distinct at the top, way more so than the bottom, just like this. And any sort of weird imperfections can easily be rectified. You probably even go in and fill in any of these gaps with your regular paintbrush if you really wanted to, but we're not going to worry about that for now. And we're going to want to go in with our brush with the other side of it here. We're just using the paint that's already here, and we're pulling this down in here a bit. And we're trying to have these brush strokes sort of go in specific directions, because your brush strokes, they tell a story, and it can be very easy to make the brain see things that technically aren't there, just with a few changes in brushstroke. Like if I went back and forth here, it would look very different than if I left it alone. Now we're just using this and pulling it down as much as we can. Clean out our brush again, get anything that's left in it that we may have collected. And now we can take the color we already have and mix a bit of yellow into that. We go about here, and we can just use this thing to create some highlights. We can go in here the same and do the same right here. We kind of want this part to jut outward, so we're gonna put a little bit in here, a little bit more in here. Now we can use the same dirty thing and just mix up some blue and white together, and combine with that, it'll make this this dirty white and blue color we can just go in here and we can add in, because with light we need shadow to to contrast, I believe that's what I'm looking for. Either way, you need both. But you can go ahead and do the same thing right in here. And we're just adding in our highlights wherever we think we may need them. If we have some basic shapes in, we can easily go in with some blue and pull it this way, create some nice marbling. Works quite well for our little mountainside here. Don't need that much paint because you've already got some paint on your thing. So you easily just pull it across here. And look at there, it feels like you're really here. You can do the same thing on this side with some brown, not too much though, just a bit. It's already starting to look a bit better. Amazing what adding a few extra colors to your canvas will do. Completely change perspective, completely change locations, completely just change the environment. It's awesome. Next we can go in with a bit of red and brown mixed together, mostly red though. We can go in here and we can start adding in maybe some foothills or some grassy areas right here. I'm gonna really load this thing up with paint. That way you can do stuff like this. And next we can go with some green and we can start adding that for some contrast. Makes the colors nice and dark and stuff. It's really foresty green. And we can mix in a bit of yellow here too. And yes, I do realize now that in the last video, we did not use yellow on our plants, which is mostly because the plants we were doing did not have yellow in their color scheme. That's the main thing. We didn't really use green that much in that painting. So I think that that gets me a free pass. And also, that's a self-imposed rule. So it doesn't really matter. The only person that it'll really affect that I broke it is myself. So it's not something to get super hung up over, I would say. Now we're gonna take our fan brush and load it full of green. Just load it full of green. We're gonna go about here, and we're gonna start adding in some trees. We're gonna have a big cluster of them right in here, maybe a hilly area. And then there's this whole area right here. You can have them start to go down this way. You don't want to do too much. Okay, here. Just go here, add them in. Add a little bit of yellow into these too, why not? We'll even add some right in here, make it look like it's wrapping around the mountain. We want to make some of this lime green. We can sprinkle it in right here at the top. I think we're gonna go in with some brown, green, a bit of blue. We can go in about here, and using the side of our brush, we're going to start bringing in a really big tree. Needs more blue. Come all the way down here, and it gets a bit bigger down here. Comes down all the way down here. Maybe we'll put a little one down here too. The big one can be Robert, and we got Robert's cool friend. And now we're gonna go in here, and we're going to put these down here a bit. You'll see why we're doing this in a second. Now we can just use our relatively clean brush, and we're gonna use that to pull this down and create some reflections. And we just use the side of the brush like this, and makes the reflection. Okay, it goes all across like this. We can go in with a bit of yellow, and we can start adding in maybe some branches for this. Tree trunk, branches, that sort of thing. Very easy to add definition to something like a tree this way. All of a sudden, it's way easier to tell that it's a tree. And even go in with a bit of yellow and add in some, well, highlights and stuff to these trees, make them a bit easier to see, because colors can get very muddled. So there's an easy fix to this. We can simply go in here and just. Now we are adding in some grassy lands for it to stand on, and we'll mix in a bit of blue, just a bit. Now we're going in here, and we're just gonna tap in. Just tap, not actually slide across, but tap in add in what's going to be a bank for our little island thing that we got going here. We can easily just go in here and do our water line, which of course is where the water starts and the land stops. And we're just trying to halfway cut through the canvas. Do these zigzag patterns, and you're doing something right. Now, why don't we go in here, and we can go about here, and put in some more tree-like shapes. Maybe this lighter green will do. Adding in some more detail here with it, just like this right in here. We can pull it down and do the same thing we did before. Go in and do that same bank here, just right here. Maybe a little bit of shrubbery hubbery right in here for it to stand on. You can easily go in here and just add some white for highlights. Instantly makes it look better. I quite like it. And I think I'm gonna go in here and we can even do that same trick we did with the other ones with the yellow, but with white this time. Very beautiful trees. Put it here, just like that. And we'll even layer in some here for our waterline type thing. I think we can even go in here and layer in some white on our water. That always helps. And just with a little bit of white, our painting immediately looks about 10 times better. There we go. That's good. All right, I think it's about time that we sign this bad boy. So of course I'm gonna get some water and some paints, mix it together. I'm using red this time. And you can do the honors of trying to find my little signature. That's gonna about do it for this episode of A Tribute to Mastery. If you liked this as much as I did in actually making it, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what I did, how I can improve, anything like that. Alright, this is the painter signing off once again. Alright, so long, farewell.